Welcome back to the channel, guys. In the last video, I covered why I thought my Hyundai Elantra N was better, or maybe not better in some ways, to my VB WRX. And in today's video, some of you have asked for it. I'm going to be comparing my thoughts on the Hyundai Elantra N versus my Mark 8 Volkswagen Golf R. So I owned my Golf R for a year, put about 8,000 miles on it. It was a manual, loved that car, so much fun. And I'm going to be comparing what that car was like compared to this, my 2025 Hyundai Elantra N. And this comparison is a little harder to make because these cars are not very similar in a lot of different ways. There's just so many differences about them. Some similarities, yes, but from pricing to a lot of different things, they're not on the same level. So you kind of have to temper your expectations a little bit. But my goal in all these review videos is to be fair, to be honest, to help you as the consumer, to give you my just unbiased thoughts, opinions. Doesn't mean they're right, doesn't mean they're wrong, but just help some of you who might be cross-shopping it. So in no particular order, let's jump into it. And first, let's address the elephant in the room. We are comparing a price difference of $10,000 to almost $11,000 from a manual Hyundai Elantra N 2025 to, I don't even know what Volkswagen prices have been raised to now on the Golf R, but let's just call it anywhere from a $10,000 to $11,000 difference. For $10,000 to $11,000, I mean, when you chalk up the Hyundai Elantra N and what it's priced at around the $35,000 mark, 10% of that is $3,500. 20% of that is $7,000. You know, you're talking about a 30% uplift in price. So it better be 30% more cars. So let's just go ahead and cover that. A lot of this compares, a lot of it doesn't. But overall, what I think the Golf R is better at, or maybe what you might like in the car, if you want a car that's a little bit more refined, a little bit more comfortable, and a little more grown up, the Golf R is probably the better option. In terms of like a cross-country long road trip car, the Golf R is just better. It's more subtle. The seats are even more comfortable, even though I love the seats in this. You have ventilated seats, which is nice. In the Hyundai Elantra N, you don't have it. You obviously have heated seats, but you're just going to get a much more compliant car that you can just drive across the country, be very comfortable in. I love that car and doing road trips and long drives on it. So if you're someone that maybe kind of wants that fun factor, but doesn't want to be as loud and in your face, I think the Golf R is for you in that regard. Obviously, if you want, you know, all-wheel drive, for sure, the Golf R is the better option. From a manual standpoint, having owned the manual in the Golf R versus the DCT, I think the DCT just makes that car even more fun than what the manual does. The manual's okay, but if you're wanting kind of a long cross-country road trip car, that is the car. If you're wanting something that doesn't alert your neighbors too much, that is the car, because it looks refined, it looks nice, it looks sporty, but it looks more mature, if that makes sense. The Hyundai Elantra N is kind of like a teenager walking around with spiked hair and an earring or a lip ring or something. Like, it's like, hey, I just am who I am. There's no hiding it, right? And it's just like a lot more in your face from that regard. But the Golf R definitely has a lot of different things going for it. I won't say that the Harman Kardon is better than the Bose in here. I think the Bose is actually better than the Harman Kardon, but I think both stereo systems are kind of weak, to be honest. So really not a massive difference there. In terms of just power, the Golf R should be substantially faster than the Hyundai Elantra N. But I will just say, and I am going to do a 0 to 60. I did it in that car. I'll compare it to this car when I do it. The Hyundai Elantra N feels faster to me, up till about 70, 80 miles an hour. I think the Golf R has more top end. Something to note, even though, yes, it is all-wheel drive, you have to shift the car twice to get to 60, whereas the Hyundai Elantra N, I only have to shift once. However, what I'm going to struggle with in this car is wheel hop and traction, so it kind of balances. The Hyundai Elantra N, to me, just out of the box feels more rowdy, feels more raw, feels more track ready than the Volkswagen Golf R. The Golf R to me felt just a little bit numb. Even in the most aggressive settings, I could barely tell if the exhaust was back there crackling and popping. It does that. Maybe I'm deaf, and that's probably a big part of it, and probably true. But the Hyundai Elantra N is just in your face. You know, I think both cars have great tech, and I know that sounds very weird. I like the tech on my MK8 Golf R. I have no problems with it. The touch buttons, I actually think it's a very intuitive system. I would even say sometimes I had an easier time navigating that than I do the Hyundai Elantra N. Not a popular opinion. I need more time with it, but that's just my kind of gut reaction. So both cars have a ton of tech. Both cars have ambient lighting. Both cars have limited slip. Just a lot of different things going for these cars. Obviously, the brakes in each car are a little bit different. I believe they're bigger on the Golf R than they are in the Hyundai Elantra N. Obviously, front-wheel drive for you that don't know in the Hyundai Elantra N. But just my overall impressions is, I think it's hard for me to justify the price of the Golf R for what you get. I think that car should even be more than what it is in terms of just feature, functionality, value. I think it's priced on the higher end for what you get, because for me, if I can go get a Honda Civic Type R at that price point, I'm going to buy it all day long over the Volkswagen Golf R. But the Golf R has a lot of different things going for it, you know, kind of like I mentioned. You know, not in your face, kind of more subtle. I think at the top end, I think it pulls harder at the top end, and maybe it's a lot faster to 0 to 60. If we're looking at Car and Driver, a lot of the magazines, this car should not be anywhere close to the Volkswagen Golf R, not that close. You know, this car's got a little bit more. It doesn't have more of anything, to be honest. It's very similar torque-wise to the Volkswagen, but the Volkswagen's got another, 26 horsepower. But if you equal out the weight, I don't know. I definitely think out of the box, this car, you hear the exhaust more, you hear the turbo more, you hear the intake more. Kind of similar back to my points, the Golf R, you don't hear that. But when I put my APR intake on my Golf R, man, it was so fun. It was so loud. It sounded so good. It was everything that I wanted it to be. So maybe some of you prefer that. And maybe that's a good point for all of you shopping. If you want a good starting point to not be rowdy and you're not sure you want to modify, you're not sure you want to throw an exhaust or be too rowdy, like, start with the Golf R, because you can kind of build it from there. The Hyundai Elantra N, you're just kind of getting this package straight out of the box. It's a little bit more rowdy. The styling's more aggressive. It's a little bit more in your face. Front-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive, those are obviously massive differences. But overall, I can't tell you I've liked a car more than the other, because I like the Golf R. A lot of people are like, Austin, why did you sell it? I sold it because I think German cars, they depreciate extremely fast in value, even more than the Hyundai, in my opinion. And I got a good deal from a dealer on it. I lost about $6,000 in equity from my purchase price before taxes to what I sold it for. And the prices were just falling a lot. And I had an offer that was $2 or $3,000 more than any other dealer. And so I got out of it because I owned the car for a year. My job, or part-time job on YouTube, is making car content, and I just do it on the side. I do it as a fun hobby in the afternoons, or, you know, at night, or going on a lunch break, something, but it is not my main job by any stretch of the imagination. And so for me, I filmed a lot of video with the Golf R, got a lot of different content on it, and I moved on. And I do that with my cars, and I provide my honest take on it. So I would say the Hyundai Elantra N, I'm only 1,600 miles into it, 3 months of ownership, so I can't provide a perspective to you guys on which car is better, because they're so different that I just can't say, hey, go buy this one over that one. And they're just a little bit harder to compare, in my opinion. And there's actually a Hyundai Elantra N here. Surprise, surprise. It is a 2025 too. I love it. Here, let me show you guys. So there is the Performance Blue. I like it. My favorite colors in this are the red and the white. I think are my favorite colors. I think they look really good. So anyways, guys, those are just kind of my small impressions. I know I've missed a lot of stuff, but that's just off the cuff, what I feel, what I do. With more time, I'll give you guys more of my honest thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you on the next video.